Hadassa, your host, and I'm here today with Rabbi Pastor David Hong from the Valley of Carmel. Pastor David, welcome to Bethlehem today.
You know, it's just exciting to be here. I've been out on the hills looking at the sheep, and it's a wonderful place, a beautiful place in God's country, so thanks for inviting me.
Pastor David, there are rumblings among the citizens of the kingdom about the messages for the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Next couple of weeks, we're actually going to be taking a look at marriage and what God has to say about marriage and how He really intended it to be a beautiful thing. But in our culture today, and really in a lot of places, it's not very highly thought of. And a lot of people struggle with marriage because it's a challenge. It's hard to make it good, but God has some great designs and some good insight for us.
Some are saying that since they're not married or too young to be married, they don't need to listen to these messages. What is your response to these rumblings?
You know, marriage is something that really puts the message of the gospel on display. And we always need reminders about God's love for us, how faithful His love is for us, how unconditional, how He just cares for us out of His grace, not because we deserve it. And really, that's what makes marriage work. So even if you're not ready to get married just yet, Hadassa, this will be really good just to think about, how has God loved us and how does that help me be ready to love somebody in the same way that He loves me.
So are you saying, Pastor David, that this is relevant to everyone?
It really is. Even today, where marriage is falling on kind of hard times and there are fewer people getting married today than, say, 50 years ago. But still, and God says being single is great. He says that's just fine too. But there's a lot of things that we can learn that are very, very relevant for everybody as we think about how does the gospel go on display through our lives.
We went out to the streets of Bethlehem, and it seems that some citizens are saying that they're choosing to follow 2 Timothy 3:16. Let's take a look.
Okay.
All Scripture.
All Scripture
Every jot and tittle
is inspired by God,
is God-breathed,
is profitable,
useful for teaching.
rebuking,
That means helping to fix our mistakes.
and training in righteousness,
It teaches us to do what is right.
to live God's way.
Through the Word
We are put together
and shaped up for the tasks God has for us.
Would you say that scripture is applicable to the current situation?
It really is, because that scripture tells us that all of Scripture is God-breathed. It's His truth for us. And so when it tells us that it teaches us, it rebukes us, it corrects us, gives us instruction and training for life, it's really telling us that these are really important things for us just to learn more about who God is and how we respond to Him. I can tell you from my own marriage with my wife that we need instruction and help to really make it good. So, yes, when Paul says to Timothy, this is good for instruction and correction, it's been very helpful to us as we think about how do we make a marriage that really honors God.
Pastor David, do you have any other comments for our viewers today?
Hey, I'm just really looking forward to our viewers being there when we get into the Bible on Sunday. Thanks very much for having me. This has been fun. Drop by anytime out here in Bethlehem, okay?
Thank you very much, and thank you all for being with us today. Well, that's it for today. See you on the next episode of Bethlehem Today. Hadassa, out.